I want to help you to also become a 401k millionaire. And I'm going to tell you how. So, as promised, I created some videos that talk you through how to look at your 401k as a way to build wealth. And now I'm going to come with a very simple way of how to allocate your paycheck from this day forward. You're going to set yourself up from the very beginning of 2025 or whatever year you're watching this to be able to max out on your allocation for your 401k. And I'm also going to show you different ways if you don't want to max out on how you can allocate it to set it to where you want it. But nonetheless, if you max out your 401k, which is key, you can become a 401k millionaire in a matter of some years. Well, let me just say, like at least a good 15, 20 years. But nonetheless, it's still you becoming a millionaire because there is something special about delayed gratification. There is something special about being able to see your harvest, the fruits of your labor be able to come to fruition. And a lot of times God is teaching us to slow down and wait for the right time for the harvest to begin. And one of your harvests is in your 401k. Your 401k, for those who do not know, is a way for you to build wealth through your employer helping to fund your account. But we're going to talk about what you can do to help speed up the process. So for those who are joining this video for the first time, my name is Terry. I am the one and only The Wealth Sharer, and I share wealth so you can build wealth for your family. I enjoy and love being able to pour into you in all the wisdom that God has placed on me over the years. God is having me to give back by sharing with you the wealth of wisdom to be able to be successful in your life. And I'm going to tell you guys, there is such an amazing, joyful, zenful, miraculous feeling of being guided by God. And I am thankful to say that, God, thank you for guiding me. Thank you for leading my life. Thank you for showing me what putting you first is in my life and helping others to do the same thing. So this is a video that I promised you all about a month ago when I did some 401k allocations. This is the season to get your money right in your 401k. And whenever you're watching this is your season. So just know that you don't have to worry about being late to the game. You don't have to worry about the fact that you didn't do it years before. We cannot worry about yesterday. But what we can do is impact tomorrow by having your current self set up your future self for success, to win, financial freedom, time freedom, to be able to relax when you are retired and not have to worry about anything other than sipping some champagne on the beach, spending time with friends and family, traveling the world, relaxing, just not having to pay a mortgage. There's so much things we can do when we retire. So no matter where you are, just know that at least you are trying to make an impact on your future self to help improve the life of yourself in the future. There is a future trajectory that people don't realize that in the now, they have the power to impact. And that is what God is teaching me. God shows us the path through vision, through actually audibly hearing God, through the intuition, through the knowing, to be able to seek and reach success. God is a God of prosperity. God is a God of prosperity. Make sure I say that right. God is a God of success. God is a God of abundance. God is the creator of all things. And I pray that as you receive my words, God is speaking to you through your heart, through your mind, through your soul to be able to connect to the path that God has for you. Okay, so we're going to jump into a spreadsheet I already created for you to kind of go through what it will look like when you allocate your money for 2025, 2026, 27, 2032. Whenever you watch this video, it will still apply. So, as I mentioned, the best time to set yourself up for success for your 401k is in the beginning of the year. But I don't want to discourage you from knowing that you can do it at any time during the year. Let's just say you're watching this video months ahead, okay? You are watching this in the future. Well, you're going to watch this in the future regardless of, just know that, okay? So here's the thing. You have the ability to max out an employer contributed fund for your future. And that is money that is going into certain fund allocations that will help build compound interest and go up when the market goes up and be able over time to grow your money. For 2024, I myself have seen a 30% increase in my 401k. Now, there will be some future videos where I'll talk through how to look at different funds, how to find the best fund to maximize the increase to your 401k so your money is not sitting idle. Here's the thing about wealth and the thing about cash flow. It is meant to flow. Your money's not meant to be stagnant. It's not meant to just sit in an account and do nothing. It is meant to grow. It goes back, God is reminding me, thank you, of the story of the men with talents, okay? That these servants received talents from their master, and they were all set out to go and multiply. And there was that one servant who buried his talent. Such a powerful parable, okay? Parables will change your life when you actually pay attention to the hidden messages that God is revealing to you, okay? So for those who bury their money and do nothing with it, there will be no progress, no growth that will come from burying it. And a lot of times people bury their talents, the things, the gifts that God has given them to be able to go out in the world and prosper. When God has given us information and given us ideas and these gifts, they're not just for us. They're for the world to be able to understand that there's so much more to the story, so much more that God is doing for them in their day to day. And many times people can allow distractions, their own lack of self-confidence, their own ability, self-doubt in themselves and others to deter them from reaching their goals. And I'm here to remind you that God wants you to prosper. It is one of God's promises, and God is a God of truth. And I can tell you that I stand by God's prosperity plan for myself and my family and my friends to know that when we do our part, God's part is automatically done. Okay? Just remember that. All right. So don't bury your talents. Be sure to be a good steward of the money that God has given you. Okay. There's going to be a lot of things I'm going to share with you all so you can do better and do better because you want it. Like you're listening to this because you want something better for your life. And I appreciate you taking the time to listen and actually take these steps and these keys to open doors for your future. And that is what God gives us. God gives us wisdom, which equates to keys to life and the ability to open wonderful doors that will bring you so much happiness and gladness and joy, abundance, prosperity. Oh my gosh, like it's beautiful. Love and just generosity. I can go on and on and on. Be sure to check out my A to Z video on affirmations because it will change your life. You will get so excited when you start saying it. You will start to connect with the words that God has given us to live in confidence and to live in love. Oh, it's such a beautiful journey. All right, y'all. I'm going to share my screen so you guys can be on board with what we have planned for you today. All righty, so here we are. This is what I'm going to go through, which is going to be what your contribution is for 2025. Now, remember, as you're watching this in the future, this can apply to any year that you're watching this video. Be sure to save and share this video with others. When we get something that's a blessing to us, we should in fact, share it with others. It is to help others prosper so they can do great things for themselves and our family. We're not to be stingy. We're not to be greedy. We are to know that there's an abundance of resources for everyone, and everyone can have a piece of the pie. Okay? There is no lack. Okay? Once you recognize that, you will be wanting to give to more people because you're like, okay, God is a God of abundance. Let me give this to you because there's so much more abundance. Okay. Abundance is like the air that we breathe, it's everywhere. And so is God. God is also like the air we breathe. And that's where the abundance comes from. Okay. All righty. So I'm so excited for y'all. I'm excited because I know for the person or persons that will follow through on this allocation plan, it's going to shift things for them. They're going to be able to go into their 401k plan, whether it's with Transamerica, Fidelity, TD Ameritrade, whichever resource your employer use, you have access to look at it every time, anytime, okay? You have access to look and see your money grow, to see that this plan is going to work when you put things in order, okay? So I'm going to show you guys what it looks like for 2025 contributions. This is based on what the government has said, okay? You have the ability to grow money tax-free. If you do not take it out before, I want to say 59 and a half, I want to say that is the number. That is the number, 59 and a half. You can take it out tax-free and with no penalty. That means that, so what does tax-free mean? Let me get into it, because I know that there are people who listen to me who do not understand 401ks. This is your first time probably hearing about the term, or maybe second time, and no one has explained it to you. So let me pause and slow down so you can be able to understand this, because this is super important for your life, okay? It's something I heard about in my early 20s. Now that I'm in my early 40s, my husband and I, we were contributing, but we were not maxing it out early in the game. And now that we're learning what that looks like, because God literally made me sit down and say, Terry, pay attention. Okay, God made me pay attention to the numbers, to the plan. And when it hit me, like, oh my gosh, I have it on my wall. Last year, 2020, in 2023, in November 11th, God gave me a strategy to start implementing. And I did not implement it. Guys, I'm telling you all about my journey with what this looks like. I've done it in smaller, not as big as I did it this year, but I want to be able to share with you that maxing out your 401k will bring wealth to you that you would not even recognize. And if you will put these plans in place, I guarantee you in years to come, you will say, God, thank you. Okay, I want you to start saying, God, thank you now, because we can praise him before it even happens. That's the great thing about worshiping God. Okay, so I want you to understand that maxing out your contribution, no matter what year it is, every year it goes up by $500 roughly, okay? So 2026, this might be 24,000. 2027, it might be 24,500, or it might be 25,000. So I want you all to know that the numbers change every year. You cannot go backwards, okay? So going back to what a 401k is in more depth, it is a plan where your employer match up to a certain percent of your contribution to help you put money away for your retirement. This is a retirement plan. It's not meant for right now. It's meant for when you retire, so you are not dependent on only Social Security, okay? I can tell you, there are times where Social Security is not enough depending on someone's lifestyle. Now, if you want to live in a secure manner, this is one of your best bets. There are other options like a Roth IRA, but I want to focus on a 401k because a lot of my clients and a lot of my viewers have day-to-day jobs, okay? And they have an employer that helps them to put money aside. Now, some employers might contribute 3% or others might contribute 5%. It will vary by the company, but there is a myth that I want to break. And I said it in one of my last videos. When you hear people tell you only contribute what your employer is doing with match, that is a plan for disaster in a way that it will not help you in the long run, because you are only minimizing your ability to max out on what the government is allowing you to contribute tax free. That means you're not paying any taxes on it, okay? So whatever your salary is, when you put money into your 401k and the money that your employer is contributing, it is tax free. And as long as you do not take it out before you're 59 and a half, you are set and will be good to be able to get your money tax free. That means all of the compound interest, all of the increases in multiplication that will happen, okay? That will happen in your account. You get to take it tax free after a certain age, okay? So I have here three different ranges of how you can contribute to your 401k, and that is based on your age range. Just know that I'm giving this to you because whether you are in the 50 to 59 or 50, 64 plus age or between 60 and 63, you have the ability to add more and catch up. Now, this is important because you want to max out no matter where you are, okay? You want to max out. But here's the thing. Now that you're going into 2025 or whatever future state you're listening to this is, whatever happened yesterday or last year or the years prior, you do not have an opportunity to catch up. You can only catch up by age, but you cannot catch up by going backwards, which means if you miss the opportunity, which is okay because we're doing things differently now, that means that you do not have the ability to put any money for past years, okay? So that's why I want you all to not live in regret. God has shown me what regret feels like and looks like because I kept on saying, God, I do not want to delay your plan. And when I kept on saying that, God kept on showing me how I was the one delaying God's plan. A lot of times people don't even realize that they are the cause of their own delay. They're waiting on God for something to happen in their life, whether it's relationship, whether it's financial, whether it's career, and God is waiting on them to move. So there are times you're praying for something and God has given you the vision and God has given you the instructions and you're the one that's causing the delay. So when it comes to your 401k, delay no more. This video, I want to make sure that you share it with others. This video is going to transform your future, okay? You are going to be able to become a millionaire, okay, through your 401k if you take this seriously, which means that you're going to have to make some adjustments in your budgets. Make sure you check out my other videos on how to manage your budget. That's going to help you be able to contribute without feeling it, okay? You know that saying, pay yourself first? This is it. This is what they mean. You pay yourself first through your 401k because what happens is that when you set it with your institution that your company has allocated as your resource, but they're using as a resource, it comes out your paycheck automatically. So you don't have to do anything other than set the number and forget about it. Okay. When I say forget about it, meaning don't think about it, don't try to go back and change it. Leave it alone, okay? Unless you're increasing the number, if you're not maxing it out. But if you're maxing it out, don't try to skim yourself by going and reduce the number because that is going to impact your future, okay? So going back to this age range and contributions, you have to remember that up to between 21 and 50, this is how much you can contribute for 2025. And again, future state, it will change depending on the year, but this video will still be valid no matter when you listen, okay? If you are 60 to 63, you get to contribute this much. So when you contribute this much to your 401k, you can catch up in a way based on age because they're giving you an extra $11,000 for you to add to your 401k. And then you pick the right funds. Oh my gosh, that money's going to just go multiply. It's going to go up. Okay. Again, I have seen 30% in 2024. Okay. Now, 30% on some cash is some more cash. All right. All right. Okay. So this is going to be what I'm going to review with you, and I'm going to make some adjustments in here. So I'm going to talk through this for those who are familiar with Excel, because you can do this on your own based on your own salary. And for those who are not as familiar with Excel, Excel is a very easy tool to use. You can look it up how to use it in YouTube or through the internet, but it's very easy. Do not be intimidated if you have never used Excel, okay? You can also use Google Sheets. So what I have here in this column is going to be how much of your 23, this is 23, 500 in 2025 that you're going to contribute. So this scenario right here, this scenario is going to be maxing out the entire amount, okay? So that means for the year, at your last paycheck of the year in 2025, you're going to look at your paycheck and it's going to say this amount, because that's how much you've put towards your 401k for the year. And when you go into your 401k plan, you can also see it reflected there as well, okay? This scenario says that you're going to contribute at least $11,000, 50%. Now, I put this here for those who are not ready, but I want you to get ready, okay? Because sometimes when there's change, it takes some people time to get ready and not be fearful. We're not a fearful gang, right? We are the faith gang. We are the faith gang. We are all about putting God first. We're all about doing our part, okay? This is the wealth share community. We are building wealth to share wealth, okay? And, oh, God, thank you. For those who have heard the myth about you can't take the money with you, God says, and it is biblical, that you are to build for the future one generations. It's not about you. I said this in my last video, okay? Catch my last video. If God is giving you something, it's not meant just for you. God will multiply what he's giving you by you giving it to other people. So that means when you get to your retirement age, don't blow all this millions of dollars that you have. Make sure that you are setting your family up for success. Make sure that you have money set aside for your burial. Make sure you have money set aside to pay off everything. I mean, by the time, depending on where you're at in your journey, by the time you reach retirement, based on the things that I'm teaching you, you can also be debt free way before retirement. Okay. So again, that depends on where you are in your journey. This is the Yes Crew. Okay. I know with the Faith Crew, with the Yes Crew, we're the all about God gang, you know what I'm saying? Like we are all about making strides to be in alignment to God's will. So I'm putting this here to show you all what it looks like in the long run. But this is where I want you to focus on. This is what is going to change your life. Okay. This right here. Okay. So again, if somebody wants to put in 20% or 10%, this is what it looks like on an annual basis. Here is the gross salary. Remember, I've said this in my other videos too, but I'm going to remind those who are watching this for the first time. Your gross salary is not what you bring home. So don't go thinking about, oh, I make X amount of money. When you look at your paycheck, you will see, okay, that your gross is just your gross. It is a great place to be, but it's not what you're bringing home. Okay, so I want you all to debunk that myth, because a lot of times people get so fixated with their gross salary, which is fine in terms of like, feeling good about what you are making overall, but it's really what you take home in addition to what you're contributing towards your 401k that matters, okay? Because a lot of times people hear someone making $200,000, but in reality, they could really be bringing home 80,000, okay? Depending on their allocations, depending on what they have coming out for taxes and for medical benefits. Every person's paycheck is different. Everyone's pay circumstances is different. So we have to learn not to judge ourselves, not to judge others based on what they say, because their take-home pay is different and vastly different than what they may actually realize when it gets down to the nitty-gritty. Okay. So what I did here was I took the amount from the 401k minus the salary this is the starting baseline for your after-tax salary. And that is what Uncle Sam, the state, your Social Security, your Medicaid is going to deduct from. Anything that is deducted from your paycheck is not going to come from this after-tax salary from your 401k. So again, look at the difference. Someone making $80,000, they're bringing home, in theory, not really, right? Because they still got taxes, but their new baseline is $56,000 a year. Okay. Now, Uncle Sam is going to get you on what he's going to get you on. Okay. And so is the state, and so is Social Security and Medicaid. They're going to get their money. So just remember, and then depending on the person, you might be the one that is, having to, support your family with the medical, dental, and vision, and then life insurance. There's other factors before you start to, pay your bills and have to put money towards food and other things. Catch my other video about the food. All right. I gave y'all all kind of tips and trips and keys to open doors in that one. Okay. So now, so I'm going to focus on, well, I might go through all of them, but I'll just focus on this money maker right here, right? The where I have in the dark green, shaded in dark green. So now that this person is after tax salary is $56,000, 56,500. We're now going to look at how much is going to come out their paycheck every time that they allocate they're trying to get to the max of 23. So to get to the max of 23, they're going to have $900 come out their paycheck every 2 weeks. This is only based on someone who is getting a check every 2 weeks. It's going to differ for someone who is going to get paid weekly. I'm going to show you real quick. 52. Okay. Someone getting paid weekly is going to have $452 come out their paycheck every single week. But for the one who is bi-weekly, which means they get paid every other Friday, they're going to get $900 taken out. Okay. So this is the important part that I want you guys to focus on. This 29%. This is how much you will have to contribute for every paycheck to be able to hit this 23,500. Okay. This is 29%. So if you start in the beginning of the year, it will be easier for you to hit that amount because you have 29% coming off of your $80,000 salary. Now, again, this is based on salary. The numbers will differ depending on how much someone makes. I'm going to show you that right now. So for someone making $100,000, add a zero, Terry. All right. It's going to be now 24% coming out of their pay stub. Okay. For someone making 150,000, 16% is going to come out every 2 weeks. Okay. Now you see that percent is not going to change because 904 times 26 is 23,500. This is the number that if you want to max out for your 2025 contribution, this is how much is going to come out your paycheck. Now it sounds like a lot, but I need you to shift your mindset. Your mindset is the way you perceive things, how you are fixed on what you believe. If you see this and like, oh, this is a lot of money, remember your retirement account is also like a savings account. It's a wealth, what I would consider a wealth account, a wealth savings account. So remember, this money is for you and your family. Okay. So don't think about it like a bill. Think about it as excitement. Like, oh my gosh, I'm going to be a millionaire when I retire or before. I'm claiming before for you, just so you know. Okay. So somebody making 200,000, 12%. Okay. So just know that this is the amount. I'm going to put it back to 100,000. I'm going to put it back at 80. Oops. Okay. This is the number that you're going to type in to your 401k resource, whatever company your employer is using for your 401k. So I know that everyone's situation differs. There are some people who have to go to that actual company and actually type in changing their contribution, or You can do it through your employer's paychecks, I guess, HR website. Okay. So just check with your HR team if you're not familiar on how to change your contribution. I want you all to do this ASAP. First, I want you to make sure that you can afford to actually have this amount come out and it's not hindering bills that you have, the things that you have planned. You're going to have to really make sure that you make some adjustments and really dive into your overall finances before you make this change. Just remember, I am not uh, I'm a financial educator, okay? I'm not a tax consultant. I'm a financial educator. I am teaching you what God has taught me in terms of allocating my money so I can become an instant millionaire. I want you guys to join the Instant Millionaire Club, okay? And I want you all to know that it's very much possible for you to join the Millionaire Club, okay? So I've been on this journey in terms of financial journey for oof, over 5 years. Okay. My husband and I, we were successful in 2019 paying off our debt and becoming financial debt free in 2019. And that was because of the changes that we made. And we went into delayed gratification. This plan right here is a delayed gratification because you'll be able to reap your harvest when you retire. Okay. So know that this plan will get you what you need. Okay. So just remember, work with your HR representative to understand how to change your contribution if you have never done it before. If you are zero and you are jumping to 29%, just make sure that you work your budget, work your allocation, understand your financial statements, understand your financial plan with your family, sit down with your spouse, sit down with your children, sit down with your family to understand what it is that you need to do to make adjustments, whether it is canceling subscriptions, there, whatever you need to cancel is worth this plan. All right. So I want you all to know that you have the ability to prosper. You are part of God's prosperity plan. And through this 401k millionaire strategy, I can guarantee you, if you follow it, you will be an instant millionaire. Bye, y'all.